Dun, 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 dun.
Let's go. The Washington Commanders. There it is.
What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? It is your boy, Sean Spencer, one half of that dynamic duo that's Let's Talk Football. And you see who that guy is right there. You know my guy, Mr. Nicholas, I want the smoke, Rosario. What up, Nick?
Hey, how we doing, Sean? What's going on? This is beautiful Wednesday here, right? You're in Virginia. I'm in Chicago. Woo! Here we go. Woo! Let's do this.
Yeah.
Hump day.
Home, dirty. You made it back home, and I appreciate. I like that you made it back home, my friend.
Oh, yeah.
And you were here in the not so windy DC or Landover or Baltimore area, whatever you want to call it.
Yes. For those who don't know, I took a brief respite from my home in Chicago and decided to travel out east. And I found myself in Maryland, in Baltimore to be precise. And this was planned, of course. Sean and I were going to go see Commanders Bears on Monday night. This had been planned for a little while. So went ahead and got out there on Saturday, left on Tuesday, got back home later Tuesday night in the evening. And it was a great trip. For all of you who follow football, I think we all know what happened on Monday night. So I know we're going to get into that a little bit. So I had a great trip. It was great to hang out with Sean and watch the Bears get a little revenge for what happened last year. You know, the Hail Mary, as it were. And luckily it did not come down to that again this year, but it did come down to of all people, a Jake Moody field goal. And I know we're going to get into that too. So, yeah, all in all, great trip. It was great to get to Maryland and to get to Landover to the stadium, Northwest Stadium, to see the game. And, yeah, it was a good time. I had a good time. And back in Chicago, back to work tomorrow. So, you know, the dream's over, pal. Back to reality. Time to go back to work and, stop lounging around, pal. That's what I'm saying.
That's normally how it happens, man. That is normally how it happens. It was a good trip. Obviously, like you said, far too short. But you did what you came to do. You came, your team conquered, and then you went home with the spoils of victory.
You got it. That's about it, baby. A successful trip in my book, but yes.
That's what happens. Hey, Commanders lose to the Bears 25-24 in a close, hard-fought game. No, it did not end, like my guys alluded to, it did not end with a Hail Mary, but it might as well have been as equally a shocking ending as we'll talk about the player of the game being the farthest guy from anybody we would have picked to be the player of the game coming into this week.
To be fair, I was probably saying a Hail Mary at the end when the kick went up because I'm like, good Lord, please make this. So there was a Hail Mary in the other sense that we were praying that the kick would go through. So, yes.
It
was with us then.
Sarcastically, I did say, this is the type of game that Moody would be the star, the most random person that 100%. Nobody expected it. But look, let's talk about the rest of it. I mean, you jump out to the 13-0 lead. Washington kind of storms back and back and forth. There's times when I was ready to jump off the ledge. There's times when you were ready to jump off the ledge. But at the end of the day, we see how the game ended. Give me your overall view. I know where we were during the middle of the game. Where are you now that you have gotten home, taken a couple days to kind of reset?
Yeah. Obviously, I'm happy with the victory. Anytime you can go on the road and get a win, that's a beautiful thing. Hey, what's up to Mr. Nathan Snell? He's watching. Nate, it was absolutely great to meet you in person, my friend. Sorry the visit was a little shorter, but it was great to meet you nonetheless. And, we'll have to figure out something else. I have to come back out that way, and we'll have to hang out sometime. But
game, baseball,
Orioles in the summer. That'd be great. It's overall you get the victory. Like I said, on the road, always great to get a victory on the road. So overall, yes, it's a positive. This is a game that the Bears probably would have lost last year. Matter of fact, they lost a lot of games in that kind of fashion in the last few years, where things just didn't bounce their way. This year, it bounced. Looks like it's bouncing more our way. So overall, yes, happy with the victory. There was still some sloppy play, and again, we've had discussions like this before on the show with bad refereeing and calls, but it's like, I see that a lot more now where you can't, as much as you try not to, you can't let that get to you. Like the refs are going to call the game the way they call it. Like you're not going to be able to prevent that stuff from happening. Like you have to find a way to play through it and just find a way to win. Like I know it sounds cliche, but it's true. Like unfortunately, you see games and you're like, why would you call that? Or that looks nothing like a foul. Like why are you throwing a flag on that? And both sides. I mean, there was calls for Washington that it was like, well, that looked ridiculous.
I will say, after rewatching the game on the broadcast, there were a couple that we got jumped all over that were kind of like, like there was the one where who was the rookie? The rookie you got Loveland or whatever. It was a push off, and
that was not a push off.
So on the video, yeah, it was. And the crazy part about it, the defender was already dropping back in the zone, but Loveland did extend his arms to kind of do from where we looked at it. You couldn't see that replay,
no, I didn't
but when you looked at it on the TV, it wasn't even. So the crazy part of it wasn't even. It was the flag was mainly on the extension because he was already drifting back. But what happens was when he pushed and had the extension, it kind of made the defender stumble, and that's what they caught.
Okay, so that's what they caught.
That's why when we looked at it, we were like, "What is this?"
Come on. Yeah. But I'm just saying, like overall, there's been bad calls the last few years that people have questioned in a lot of games, and I don't know why that is, and I don't know if that's something. No, Nate, it is absolutely not the same line that Justin dealt with. Well, actually, Justin wasn't there last season, but. What was I going to say? Sorry. Well, no, he was, wasn't he? I'm sorry. No, Caleb.
No. Justin was gone. Yeah, Caleb.
Yeah. Last year. Yeah, no. Sorry.
Yeah. So
my mind is right. So no, it absolutely was not though, Nate. We have 3 free agents that we picked up this year for the line. You know, with Tooney and the guy from the Falcons. I always forget his name. The center, Drew Dahlman. Sorry, Dahlman. And was it Noah Jackson was the other one? So we got 3 new interior linemen. Our center, our right guard and left guard are new. And again, like you said, and then we also started a rookie, second-year guy because he got hurt last year. No, you're good. No need to apologize at all, Nate. We had started Theo Benedict at left tackle. Darnell Wright on the right side, all that good stuff. Whatever. But long story short, so again, forget about the calls. Like I said, you got to play through that anyways. There's always going to be something you don't agree with or something you think was a little too much. But I just feel like overall for this game, the Bears at least are playing, it looks like, with some enthusiasm. There is a little bit more. I'd like to see a little bit more because I mentioned to you a couple times, like, where's the urgency? Like, let's get up to the line. Let's snap the ball. Let's get moving here. Like, we can catch Washington off guard. Like, we're pussyfooting around kind of thing. And it's like, oh, what are we doing? Let's get on the ball. Let's go. Let's get it. But again, I understand, it's Ben Johnson's offense. He's calling these things. Whatever he's saying to Caleb in his helmet or whatever, like a lot of it does seem to be working. Am I 100% still? And I'm going to be transparent because I've said this from the jump. Not the biggest fan of Caleb. Okay. I've said this from the beginning. I didn't, I made my opinions known to, whatever, but he is my quarterback. This is my team and I'm going to root for him. But yeah, I don't think that means that I can't be critical of certain things only because, again, this was his 22nd start in the NFL, okay? Some guys don't even get to play that many games in the NFL, and this gentleman has started 22 games as the quarterback of the Bears. Now, I understand what happened last year, yada, 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 complain, whatever, do what you want to do. But nonetheless, you've seen 22 NFL defenses now in your career, along with, preseason practices and all this stuff. So you've seen a lot of defense and you've seen a lot of things that defenses do and calls and all this. You have to find a way to be better, in my opinion, with some of the decision-making that you make. Because in the NFL, we know it's a lot quicker than college. You don't have as much time to make decisions. And again, I'm willing to let the kid work through that and work on it. But at some point, it has to click for him. And he's got to be able to make that decision. And he's better at it. He's gotten better at it. But that decision making has to be quick. Like if you're going to run, you run. Don't stumble. Don't look and go think about it. And then, if you're going to run. If you're going to pass the ball. Throw the ball. Get it out. Like don't hold the ball. You hold the ball sometimes too long, and that's what happens. Then you're looking to be the hero, and it's not there. You're throwing the ball away, or you try to run, and then they just 4 guys converge on you. I think I got off track a little bit. I'm so sorry. But yeah, you just, overall, it's a victory for us. Caleb looked better, has looked better. But if we're going to be, I think to me, and this is the key, if we're going to be a playoff team, we have to clean some of this stuff up.
I agree. And the 22 games, but he's played several defenses twice in things like that. But different schemes, different things coming against him. And I think coaching does play a part because last year they weren't helping him, and then he lost his coach midway through the season, and we're still getting Ben Johnson and everything going. And you saw it. I mean, you talked about during the game that there were times where the hole was there for him to run and he's going to actually scramble back into trouble. And then there's times where, he does run and you're like, dude, stay there, be patient. You know what I mean? Yeah. His decision making he does play hero ball. That's something I've talked about as well. But at the end of the day in this game, he did a lot of what he needed to do. Yes. There was a couple passes that were off. I think of that first third down that you guys have. You're driving down the field really without any hesitation, and then you have like 2 slant routes on the left, and he seems to throw it in between them. Like he doesn't, you know what I mean? It's like, what are you doing? There's another pass where he has kind of DJ Moore coming out of the backfield, and I know he was getting a little pressure, but he just throws it out there. And you don't even give your receiver a chance to go after the ball. But for as much bad as I can, say about him, I can also say that, I mean, we didn't have an answer at times. Yeah. He was able to get the ball out there quick. And once, especially later in the game, once Caleb got on the edge, you started to see, like, he does have that speed. He can get around the corner. Now, at one point, and I know you and I were talking about it, he had Odunze going down the sidelines open, and he decides to just run the ball and get the first down as opposed to looking up the field. And I know you said you were looking down the field like, what are you doing? Throw it to him,
Yeah, and there were moments like that, of course. Like I said, he underthrew Rome a couple of times. He missed some wide open receivers. I get all that. But again, the positive is it looks like it's getting better. Like he's the first, I don't know, I think it was Bears quarterback to have, first 5 games of the season, 200 plus yards passing and a touchdown in each game. Mm-hmm. So again, it's moving in the right direction. And I saw a stat, not that I don't get into this stuff too much, but I thought it was funny that if he averages something like that the rest of the year or whatever it is, he'll hit exactly 4,008 passing yards for the season, which would make him the first 4,000-yard passer in Bears history. So something to chase, I guess, but I'm not even focusing on that. But because sports talk shows like to talk about that sort of thing, I've seen all these stats and all this stuff. So, yeah. So that's out there. Yeah. Everybody, yada, 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 whatever.
Real quick, Misador asked, are the Bears for real or was it a fortunate matchup?
Well, here's the thing. Well, okay, but here's 2 things, Mr. Misador. Yes, sure, it's a good matchup because Washington was without 2 other top receivers. So that helped us maybe a little bit with Scary Terry not being in there. And Noah Brown, who was obviously the hero of last year's game, catching the Hail Mary off of the tip by Tariq Stevenson. But at the same time, you still had the rookie running back who's come on for you guys. Was it Crockett Merritt? How do you say his name?
Bill. Bill.
Just Little Bill, right? That's another story for another day. We'll get into that some other time. But it's, you still had weapons. Like you still had Debo, you still had this Crockett Merritt kid, you still had and of course there was missed opportunities on both sides. Like, but let's be honest too. We won the turnover battle. We were up 3-0 in turnovers, and we still could have lost this game. We were down 8 points with 6 minutes left, whatever it was. So you believe me, that's a battle you should always win. If you have 3 turnovers, you should be killing somebody. Like you should be, you know what I'm saying? You should be allowed. There should be the fact that you were in this game still was lucky because you won the turnover battle. You had the opportunities. Yeah, you had the opportunities to put Washington away early and make them really play from behind, which meant they would have passed a lot more, and you wouldn't have saw Crockett Merritt get his run. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's always things that change the game. There's always things that change the what you're doing. And we didn't do that. We let Washington stay in, and then again, we're down 8 points with 6 or so minutes left, and I'm biting my nails going, great Lord, we're going to lose another one. You know what I mean? So, yeah. So I think the fact, Misador, is what I'm getting at, is that last year the Bears lose this game. last year, if it's the same situation, they're down 8 points with 6 left, I'd say it's a loss. This year, that didn't happen. So is that a step in the right direction? I believe it is. And when you say for real, it's only 5 games in. We had a bye week, so we've only had 5 games. What I want to see is this part of the schedule that we have coming up. Because we got the Saints, we got the Ravens, we've got, I believe the Giants are in there somewhere in the next 5 or 6 games. So, I mean, this will tell a lot about our team because those are teams, Saints, Giants, those are teams you probably should beat. You know, Ravens might have Lamar back by that time, so that could be a tougher game. But it's a test of where we are and what we're trying to do. So, yeah, do I think the Bears are better than they were last year? I do. Would I say that, you know, this – I don't know. I'm very optimistic. I'll put it that way.
Right.
I hope that answers that question. Yeah.
You did. At the end of the day, you survived. You did what you needed to do. And look, we've talked about it just like last year. This was a game that propelled Washington's season, and for y'all, it kind of threw you in a tizzy. And this could be the game I think that will propel you guys. I think you guys are Washington just 1 year behind. Caleb finally has a offense. And a front office, front office has a coach, has a couple pieces on the line, pieces that are there to help him. He's got wide receivers, he's got running backs. You know what I mean? So, and that's one of the things I thought was key with you guys. I know you have an issue with Swift, but your boy Swift got over 100. Manangai got over there. Got a lot of the tough yards. DJ Moore, I've called him the commander killer. He always gives us a hard time. But to your point, with the 3 turnovers, it's 13-0 early, and it really potentially should have been 21-0 early. Yeah. And we should not have been in that game. But then on the flip side, we do go up 8. And it's kind of like, well, can we not close out a game? And that's why I look at our trajectory as kind of up at the same, because there was times we could have put the game away. Yeah. And even as to the very end where you get the game-winning kick, we had an opportunity to just milk the clock and end the game, and we fumbled the ball and give it back to you. So
100%.
100%. I think both of us, we're kind of at that play. And honestly, I think if we're looking at somebody that needed it more, I think you guys needed it a little more than we did, just in the sense that it's a momentum thing. You know what I mean? You guys have the ability, but you're looking for it at that schedule, and you're like, look, this could be one of those wins that kind of gets that ball rolling for us. And to your point, when Caleb is consistent and he's listening to the coach, I mean, he can be a legit quarterback, man. I mean, we've seen it. We've seen it. So, but look, let's move through this because I do want to quickly talk about this. I know you got your show you're going to go on, but you came to the game. It was great. There was a lot going on. But before we got to our seats, we had to do a lap of the stadium, not because we wanted to, because we were looking for one of the amenities, one of the escalators that potentially was going to go up to the top. Found out they do not have one. They just goes up to club level. And while you guys did roll deep in there in Chicago, and Bears fans are deep and loud, talk to me first about your overall view of the stadium in general.
Well, coming up to the stadium, I'm like, oh, look at this thing. It looks pretty big. As we were walking up to Northwest Stadium, you're like, oh, this is pretty impressive. I mean, it's big, football, again, the day before, for those who don't know, I was at M&T Stadium to see the Ravens and the Rams. So, getting to see 2 big football stadiums in one weekend was kind of fun. But, going up to Northwest, I thought, okay, let's see what we got here. We walk in. And again, the place is rocking. You've got your Bears fans, your Commanders fans. Like, it's pretty full in the main concourse. So Sean and I are like, all right, let's get our seats are in 427. So we're up at the top. Now, again, I understand. I mean, I can walk. I don't want to make it seem like I can't. But again, I haven't lost all my weight. I'm still kind of a chubby guy. So walking up to the 4th level seemed like a daunting thing to do, just going up ramps. So I just simply looked for an escalator to see if we could get a little help with this. And we saw a sign that said, escalator to upper concourse levels, right? Like, it clearly said that. It didn't say just to the suites or just to the club level. It said on the big sign, upper concourse level. Yeah. So we're thinking, great, let's find it. Well, after one complete lap around the main concourse, we still didn't find one. So we finally get an usher who, and again, that was the other thing. I didn't see a lot of people working. Like honestly, I didn't see a lot of stadium ushers or customer
You
service.
saw
or
people
whatever.
with the shirts, but you didn't see anybody actually helping.
Yeah, and then we finally Sean asked this one lady, and she's like, "Yeah, no, it just goes to the club." So we take the walk up the ramp. Fine, it is what it is. And again, but being a visitor coming to your stadium for the first time, you look for stuff like that. Like, right, you look for the amenities, you look for the service, you look for the, hey, what's this, what's that? Hey, can I get up here? Can I get there? What can I do? Blah, blah, blah. So, I mean, it was a little disappointing to not, or for them to even advertise that, but not deliver on that.
Yeah.
Because again, there's probably a lot of people who wouldn't want to walk up the ramp. I mean, I'm guessing. I don't know exactly. I didn't count. You and I were talking as we walked up. But it's what? At least 15 or 16 in terms of ramps going up to the fourth level. So it's a nice little walk up there.
Two separate ones going, but yeah.
Right. So I mean, if you're it's just not something you're used to doing, and you're walking all the way up. Again, I was fine, but it just I was like, oh, okay, that's fine. Well, let's go to our seats. We got our concessions, which again, it's a football stadium. The concessions I always expect that to be high. I do, because again,
that was extreme.
Well, again,
and we didn't drink, ladies and gentlemen.
No,
and it was still high.
Not a drop. But again, we got a couple of those personal pizzas, a pretzel, a popcorn, a couple drinks, and let's just say it was, it was I didn't have to take out a loan application, but it was pretty pricey.
Close.
But yeah, but again, I expect those things when I go somewhere like that, because again, a lot of these are one-offs. It's one football game every 2 weeks or something.
Right,
so, you make your money where you can. And I know concessions is a place where people make their money. So it is what it is. But overall, I told Sean, we talked privately, on the ride home and all that. I would give the stadium as a whole probably about a 6 out of 10, 5.5, 6 out of 10. Just because, again, where we were sitting, though, the sight lines were great. Like Sean and I could see we were about the 40-yard line where we were in terms of where our seats were. So we could see everything, and it was great. The sight lines up in the top are great. There's an electric energy in the stadium, like there really was. Like everybody was into the game, so you enjoy that. They play the "We Will Rock You" and "Thunderstruck" and all this stuff. Like that. It's great stuff. It's again, atmosphere is great, but the stadium as a whole needs some work. And again, I know they're redoing RFK to move Washington back to actually Washington D.C. So we'll see what the new RFK looks like, wherever they can name it or whatever. But yeah, overall, the actual stadium, the experience left a little bit to be desired. But again, how can I be disappointed when my Bears walk out with a victory? So that's what I got to say about it.
And how can you be disappointed when we literally sat in a Bears section? We had Bears fans in front of us, behind us.
It was the greatest. Sean, we walk up and Sean's like, what in the hell is going on here? Because like you expect that it's your stadium. You're going to see mostly your fans. Sean walked into a sea of blue and orange. Let me tell you, my friends, it was and it was great for me because I'm like, these are my people. Yes, bear down, baby. We're up here, we're up here. And then, of course, Sean had some of his people there. We had that guy drinking those 25-ounce Bud Lights in the RG3 jersey, and you had the other guy who kept taking
not making us look good.
No,
right.
You got the other guy who his girlfriend wanted to pose every 3 seconds for a picture. How many pictures can you take of someone? I just want to know.
Right. And you can't forget about white Darryl Green.
No, Darryl Green over there. We had this guy wearing a Darryl Green jersey. Yeah, he's doing calisthenics in the middle of the game. I don't know what he was doing, but yeah. So Sean had some of his people there, but there we were surrounded by all the Bears fans, which made it fun for me because again, in particular, I'll just mention this. This may be Sean have to do another podcast just for this story alone. We had 2 young ladies sitting next to us who like to engage Mr. Spencer in conversation.
Little Bill.
And, but because they were Bears fans though, so it was funny to And then at one point they disappeared for like an entire quarter. Then they came back, and it was just it was again. That's another story for another time. But yeah, just the atmosphere itself for me was great because I was surrounded by Bears fans, and giving Sean a hard time is always fun. So yeah, that was great.
Oh yeah. And look, I tried to have as good of a time. I'll show a couple of these. I think this one is when the Bears were chanting. Let me see.
Good night. Good.
Yes, of
no,
course.
That's the music. Yeah, that's gonna be a good night. Yeah,
and it was a good night. So there you go.
It was. So yeah, that one. That one was definitely a good one. Wait a sec. They were getting.
Got one more. All right, get it.
Yeah. Yeah, I got another one in there.
Uh-huh.
Let me get the next one.
He's going to get the good one. He wants to get the good one in there.
Let's see if I have it. They were getting food and alcohol. No, they went down to the lower level because they had some other friends apparently.
Yeah, the ladies left for a whole quarter though. We thought they were gone for good, and all of a sudden they pop back up. We're like, oh, hello.
Nice they came back later on. Here is the one I believe where the Bears fans were just serenading. Oh, correction. No, I got a lot of videos, so forgive me. Yeah, this is the one where Washington scored, and all the Bears fans that had been hassling me.
By the way, and I kept giving Sean credit just because I like to do this sort of thing. There's a line in the song, right, of the Washington "Hail to the Commanders" about, do it for old DC or whatever, score for old DC, and I kept going, but you're in Maryland. You're not in old DC. I don't care what you say. And every time Sean just like, because I would say it every time they sang the more I was just being annoyed that they scored again, so I had to hear the damn song. And then it was like, we're old DC. I'm like, you're in Maryland. So, I had to
Yeah, it was crazy. Yeah, here's that one.
Come on, sing along. Let's go.
See, even the lady behind you was looking like, what the hell?
Because they were giving me such a hard time, and I sat there and I brought it back. But here, and you mentioned those two guys earlier. Here, late in the game, we scored. We went up 8, and the one dude had been turning around a bunch of times, and this is after we scored in the stadium. So the atmosphere of the stadium is going crazy, but you can see how these guys are a little intoxicated. But here you go.
Right, you see my guy there double-fisted at 25-ounce Bud Lights. Now, here's the best part about that. I pointed out to Sean because he passed us outside while we were walking to the car, and his girlfriend or his significant other was holding his ass up as they walked across the street.
Yep.
His old boy
and he was leaning.
25-ounce Bud Lights, and he was leaning.
He was leaning.
He certainly was. So that was pretty funny to see. I'm like, oh, look, there he is, Sean. There he goes.
Oh, yes. So, look, all in all, like you said, the atmosphere never fails, I think, at FedEx. I mean, the crowd normally goes wild. We didn't see any of the roughhousing, any of the craziness. Obviously, there was videos of fights other times, elsewhere, whatever. But where we were, everybody was, for the most part, pretty cool and cordial. Even that group behind me. Yeah, Nate, it was definitely pretty interesting. For sure. But so real quick, before we get out of here, got to talk about player of the game was a guy that we did not even think was going to play. In fact, on the way in, Nick and I were talking about the inactives and who wasn't going to be out, and that's where you found out Moody was actually going to play. And Nick was like, "What the heck is going on?"
Oh no, yeah, I was telling Sean, I'm like, no, like because I forgot Jake was on our practice squad. We signed him earlier in the year. And I knew Santos was out, so I'm like, what, are we going to be going for 2 every time? And then I'm like, Jake Moody? No, wait a minute. No, we don't want that. No, but wow, like, again, if he doesn't have another good game this whole year, whatever Jake Moody does, he will be my hero for this week. Because I'm telling you, none of those field goals were automatic. He kicked a couple of 48-yarders, a 37 or something. Like, he's missed those with ease before. Like he's flat out missed field goal. He missed like a 20-something yarder, which was probably one of the last things he kicked, and that's why he was cut by the 49ers. Like Jake was not kicking very well at all. So the fact that he came in and 4 or 5, I mean, one kick was blocked. So you can kind of blame him, can't blame him. I'd have to go back and watch that exactly, see what kind of happened. Was it a low kick? Whatever problem with the snap.
We got a good rush. I know Deron Payne got some good rush up the middle.
And that probably could have been, but I was saying, so 4 or 5 with the 1 block. But, I mean, that's half our points. We won 25 to 24, so he scored 12 of our 25 points. So yeah, it's hard to. I mean, Jake did his thing. He did what he was supposed to do, right? Everybody always says the kicker has one job. Well, Jake did his job that night, and he by far. And again, people say, "Well, no, you have to give him player of the game," because here's a guy literally who was on a practice squad this week and got called into duty because Cairo got hurt. So yeah, I would give I don't know if they gave the game ball to Jake, but I hope they did. I hope they gave him one at least,
right?
Because he absolutely deserved it for that night.
Yeah, no, everybody else. I mean, we can't we got to try to put this into context that not only was Jake cut from San Francisco, but it was widely regarded in the league that he was kind of done. Like,
100%.
His consistency was out, his mind game, and it was actually crazy because you and I talked about it when you guys signed him. We were like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah, I won't lie.
But
other kickers up you could have gotten if you really needed one. You didn't need to go pick up Jake Moody, who was just cut by the 49ers. I'm like, no. So I'm not gonna lie.
Why are you doing that?
Why do we do this?
Exactly. But at the end of the day, he came correct. Here we go.
Ah, yes. The thrill of victory. The thrill of victory. Yeah.
So sad.
Oh, but
look,
right.
Hey, absolutely. And hey, that's what we wanted. We both of us said we cannot handle a Hail Mary, another Hail Mary. That would have been one of us wouldn't have gotten back home. Put it to you that way. All right. It was crazy. But everything happened the way it was supposed to, and I thought it was a great game. I'm looking forward to what happens next. Washington, we have the Dallas Cowboys. We're going to talk about that tomorrow. And my guy, Nick, you got the Saints, if I'm not mistaken.
The Saints coming into Soldier Field this weekend, yes. So, again, it's a game we should win. I think we have a little momentum. I hope we can get out to a good start and don't give New Orleans a chance to really pull one out here at home. So, yeah, hopefully we're on the rise, as it were. Hopefully.
Like a phoenix from the ashes. And look, you definitely want to have that extra win, and potentially that would be what, three in a row?
Or would that be four in a row? We've started 0-2. We lost to the Lions and Vikings in the first 2 weeks, so we're on a three-game winning streak. So beating the Saints would put us at 4, which would make me very happy. Because again, we all know we were 4-2 coming into the game with you guys last year, and then we never won another game. Like it just started that whole down. Yeah, so. The fact that we're coming in 3-2, we could win this game. We're 4-2. That puts us in a good position.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is definitely what you want, especially all the momentum going in the world. Going up against Ravens team in 2 weeks. They're coming off a bye. They're getting their guys healthy. So it should be interesting. I mean, the atmosphere of M&T Bank Stadium, and is it going to be in Chicago or?
No, that's at M&T. I almost wish I could go to that. I almost wish I could come back and get in the stadium and get in the stadium just to see that. Because to me, real quick, on a quick note, M&T Stadium, you guys are the best. Like in all seriousness, I was impressed with everything. Not just like I told Sean, they had 2 concession stands that had like low priced classic options for you. Like a hot dog was $3.50. Pop was a couple bucks. Fries were a couple dollars. Chips were, and for those of you who've gone to football games, you know that those prices are always, hot dogs are $7-8. So to get a $3.50 hot dog, an order of fries, and a pop for like $8, I was in heaven. Like that was phenomenal. And again, the fan services and the stuff they have, I for those of you who have had me on Facebook, I took pictures with me with the first game thing. Like I got they gave me beads at first game. I got a certificate. Like the whole service and I took a thing called Squad Snaps where it looked like I took a picture with Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson. Like, the stadium has that stuff. And I just felt like the whole atmosphere there in Baltimore at M&T was just great. From the service to the concessions to everything. Like the ushers, like I said, you saw plenty of people working. They were there to answer questions. They were very helpful. Again, my first time there. So I'm looking around trying to figure out where I'm going, what I'm doing. So, overall, my experience, again, not that Northwest was such a horrible one, but it was just certain things that were like, it didn't make the experience as great as it could have been. But definitely the Sunday I went to M&T, fantastic. Baltimore, you're doing a great job there. So So that was
absolutely. Baltimore is a first-class organization, and we've seen it from top to bottom. And a shout out to them, and shout out to the Bears, and shout out to my guy Nicholas Rosario for coming on here and talking a little football. Washington Football Weekly. We'll be back tomorrow night, where we're gonna have on the Crew Roundtables Cowboys fan Mike Stout to talk about his Cowboys week, ladies and gentlemen, and we'll might recap the game as well. So for my guy, Nicholas, ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned after this, probably about the next 15 to 20 minutes. Let's talk football. The round table will be back with us. Our guy Nicholas Rosario will be on there. Nick, what are you guys talking about tonight?
Well, we always do team talk. We'll talk about for once, all three of our teams won. Handy's Falcons, Tina's Broncos eked one out against those Jets, and of course, they beat the Commanders. So team talk should be fun, right? We all got victories.
Oh yeah. Wait, Handy's Falcons won a game. I thought they were the worst thing in the world. I mean, did they beat Buffalo?
They beat Buffalo. How about that?
I'm not saying. I'm just saying.
But yeah, probably Callahan getting fired in Tennessee, that kind of thing. So yeah, we got a lot coming up. Always, again, check us out. Thank you for the plug, Sean, and of course, watch Washington Football Weekly tomorrow night. Always a great time to listen to those guys, Will, Sean, whoever else they have on. So, yep, let's go. Football is back, baby, and we are in full swing, my friend. Yes. Absolutely.
So definitely stay tuned for that. So for my guy, Nicholas Rosario, it is your boy, Sean Spencer. We will see you guys next time, and stay tuned for the round table coming up soon.
Woo, thank you very much.
Let's go. The Washington